Hey, folks, we are live just a few minutes early, just Matt and myself here tonight, just so you can get a little bit going here. So we'll just sit here and chat for a few minutes. Hopefully,
Mhm.
yeah, there it is. I could see it live on YouTube, on the
Yay.
YouTubes. So we are live now, and hopefully it'll be fine. Nick is unable to join us tonight as he had some good things happening in his life, so he had to take care of the good things.
Yes.
And I'm not sure where Jeff is tonight. He may have had some type of emergency or something. But if he's here, we'll throw
Yeah.
him in here. So he'll get here when he gets here. It's fine. We do have a couple things to talk about tonight. Oh, since there's really nobody here,
Yeah.
the first two episodes of that show is up. It is live.
Oh, nice. Okay.
So I will send you a link of that and
Okay.
do your Matt thing with it.
All right.
Sure, nobody listened to it anyway. So,
Yeah.
so what you been doing?
Just prepping for next weekend is when I go away for the weekend and board game with my gaming group. So we got that coming up. Leave Thursday, and I'll be back in town Monday. So that'll be fun.
That's right. You won't be here for the next week's show.
Right. Yep. Because I'll be playing all the games.
Every one of them.
Yes, all the games. I could always just set up a camera and we'll just live stream our incessant gaming and alcohol consumption. Well, actually, no, it's just my group. I don't really drink, but
Yeah.
my friends, however, yes, copious amounts shall be consumed.
Yay. So, all right. Yeah, that's cool. I don't know. Well, hopefully you have a good time. You got to rent that cabin like you always do. And
Yeah,
there's no Wi-Fi, you said.
no Wi-Fi. Depending on your cell phone, you might be able to get reception depending on what part of the cabin. So because it's in Carrollton, Kentucky at General Butler State Park. It's a very nice park that's about 90 minutes south of Cincinnati. So it's a good time.
What's up, Elfbait? How you doing, man? And
Hey.
welcome, Captain Frost, or Stephen Watson, I should say.
Yeah. So got that. And then let's see. Then I have like wrestling tomorrow. So I'll be working. Got a wrestling show.
Oh yeah, let me show you I'll show you the cards since since they came in their little baggies. So
yes, go fight Pow.
go fight Pow. Yeah, exactly. So there's some of it's coming through on the screen. But yeah, it's pretty much your normal standard cards. They're card sized compared to the Philsinger ones, which are like that big.
Yeah, the Philsinger is 8.5 by 11 sheet quartered.
Yeah. My camera back. I don't know. I think it's mirrored because does that look backwards to you?
Yeah. Yoko Ono.
Yeah, but is it backwards?
No, it's reading right to me. It's probably just mirrored in your camera.
Oh, okay.
Because sometimes what'll happen is it mirrors the camera you see, but the camera we see is not mirrored.
Oh, okay. It's just weird. I don't want it to mirror, but then it does.
Yeah, it's like Discord does that. And I would start flipping my camera thinking, oh, it's mirroring my camera. No, it was just mirroring it to me. And when I flip it, it mirrors it to everyone else. It's supposed to be helpful for people that don't understand how cameras work when they need to point at something.
Yeah, so what I did was I got the base starter set. Well, it's not really, they don't really have a starter set, so to speak. Because after talking to the creator, who was a Philsinger person, may I add, he said there really is no starter set. You don't have to. You can pick up any one of the sets, and it comes with the rules. So you can start anywhere you want, from the new to the old. It's really up to you.
Okay.
But I did, after asking him a couple questions, I got the original, the first one, and I got the international incident, which included the match rules for, let me see here. It gives you ladder match rules and the Russians chain / Indian chain strap match.
Okay.
and then tag team rules too on here.
Oh, cool. That definitely sounds like the one you'd want to get with all the additional match rules.
Longest running superhero RPG on Earth is here. Wonderful. Welcome,
Yep.
welcome, welcome. Your hat is not mirrored. No worries for the car. Okay,
Yep.
so Captain Frost is
Rodimus Primal's a good guy.
Rodimus Primal. Yeah, so this I'm gonna be doing some videos on it, doing my own little thing with it, just showing. And I gotta try to figure out how to do it because when I tried to do it before, since the cards are, I guess, glossy, so to speak,
Yeah.
it's too much of a reflection. So I have to
Yeah.
figure out
Yeah,
what to do.
you'd have to, instead of having a light right above it, you're going to have to angle it compared to the camera so the light reflects differently.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's just or if you can just get enough natural light that you don't have to use any artificial light to record, that'd probably be ideal. There's also, depending on your camera, sometimes you can get filters that'll help reduce that type of reflection light glare for the lens.
I don't know. I was using OBS and my webcam, the secondary webcam I have was a C Pro 90
Oh, the
22.
920.
No, 22E, the newer one.
Okay.
Because this is a Brio I have right up here.
Okay.
I was using that one, and when I was using it, it kept giving a reflection. And every time I did the video, I'm looking in the camera, I'm like, ah. So I may just have to take my phone and do one of these and point it downwards.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like I have a DSLR that will record video up to like 20 minutes. I can use it as a webcam, but I gotta like hit a button every 20 minutes, otherwise it'll shut itself off. So hence why I'm using this camera instead. But it actually gives you all the ability to like to swap lenses and do all the fun stuff that helps reduce the glare and whatnot. So
yeah,
depending on how deep you want to go, you can get better shit.
I need to, because these Logitech cameras are just garbage. I mean, utter garbage. And the Brio is supposed to be the top of the line for Logitech, but I constantly have to update the settings on this. Like, it doesn't stick ever.
Oh,
no matter what I do, and no matter what their support is the worst too. It's probably from overseas because they give me generic answers every time.
Yeah, because they're meant to be like business Zoom chats that people don't really care about having the most pristine quality. Yeah.
But this is supposed to be their 4K camera.
Right. It's 4K with a tiny, tiny sensor that requires you need to have really good lighting to get a decent image. Yeah. It's why like all the streamers, they have like the $600 mirrorless Sony is kind of like the entry level at this point.
I'm not spending $600 on a webcam, so.
Well, no, it's not a webcam. It's actually it's
a camera, right?
Yeah, camera that will do video, but doesn't have the issues my DSLR does.
Yeah, it's an HDR digital. I've seen what they are. Yeah.
Yeah, one of those. Because I've considered like, oh, it'd be fun to mess around with it. I could use it for wrestling, but then I'd be the only one I would let touch the camera. So it's like, oh, wait a minute. Yeah, let's rethink this.
Those big ham-handed guys over there probably just break it in 3 seconds.
I will just say one time I went on a trip and let them borrow my DSLR. When I got it back, it had the lens and camera body all separated in my case with no covers, no lens covers, no nothing on, just in my case. I am like, I brought the camera with me on a trip and I was going to use it and I found it in that state. So it's 10 o'clock at night and I'm running to Target to get lens cleaner to try to clean my possibly broken camera. And also they didn't give me any of my SD cards back.
Now they took your SD cards?
And all my SD cards were gone. I'm like, what the hell are you doing? No one's touching my shit now.
I don't know. Yeah. So
that's why we can't have nice things in wrestling.
No, yeah. Those folks just like to destroy shit. So is that why John Moxley only lives in a house with a plant and a bed on the floor?
No, that's just Mox.
Oh, just Mox himself. Okay.
When I was around Mox, he didn't even have a gear bag. He wore his gear under his clothes, would take his street clothes off, wrestle, and put them back on.
That's gross.
It was my joke. Like when he was wrestling in WWE. Oh, he just shows up in his street clothes and wrestles.
Yeah.
He doesn't that way. He figured taking his clothes off was too much work.
He seemed like that type of guy.
Yeah, he's an interesting fellow. Also put me in a rear naked choke once in a chicken wing joint, just because.
All right. Well, you have fun with your escapades with John Moxley.
Yeah.
Or Dean Ambrose, if you want to call him
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. I'm just standing there and someone sneaks up from behind and I see the forearm start to come across my neck. So I tuck my chin to block it. And then I realize, oh, it's Mox. Yeah, this ain't going to go well. Just, okay, let him sink it, tap. And he was good. He probably just wanted to work on his rear naked choke at midnight.
I think you may have signaled a cat to come to you because
Probably.
Nope,
Jaden's right here now.
Yeah.
As soon as
you did the tap thing, she got up and came running over. So
yep. Jaden's, you will pet me. Yep.
Well, as you can see, the Jeff has shown up.
Hey. Hi, everybody.
He is live with us. No Nick, because Nick is doing some fun things with his family this weekend. And so Jeff has arrived. Do you want to tip Jeff? No, we don't give tips. No tips.
Just the tips.
Jeff, no. Bad Jeff.
Oh, man, I didn't cuss yet, so we're good.
Do you have an OF people can subscribe to?
Do I have a what? Do I have a what? A channel? No, I should make one, but I
No,
used to have
I don't
one
think
called Go On, Man, but that was about it. Where I talked about random stuff that I would tell Vince, hey, pick up on this.
I was talking about something else. I guess you need to learn. You need to look up what the abbreviation OF is short for.
He said OnlyFans. Yeah, I caught on to it. Yeah, but except Jeff's is going to be onlyhams.com.
Yes, it'll be nothing but the best in pork.
Onlyhams.com. That's Jeff's porn website.
Yes.
It's just pictures of pork and stuff like that.
Yeah, yeah, it's glazed ham.
Yeah.
Get that honey baked sponsorship.
Why not? I don't know.
Yeah.
So I put a video up today letting people know as an update on my channel that everything's back to normal. As you can hear, there's no ping or whine going on. And like we tried recording the other day and I was talking about that, Matt, and that's all gone. So apparently it was wires too close to the monitor.
Oh.
And the gain reset itself to like 100%.
Okay, that would do it. Yep.
Yeah. So I backed it down to about 70 and the pitch and everything, and I moved the monitors further back. And I took the desktop off the desk, and so it's no longer a problem.
Yep.
Good.
Poorly shielded cables will do that.
Yeah, poorly shielded cables with the poorly shitty fucking camera here. Nah, it's actually pretty decent. If I get it set,
pretty good camera. What the hell are you talking about?
If I get it set right, Jeff, it's fine. But then once I restart the computer, I got to redo it all over again, and it's so annoying.
Yeah,
I can imagine. So,
first world problems #, right?
DM problems.
Yes, but it means we can also play our game tomorrow, so we're good to go.
We're good to go. What are we playing?
Palladium Fantasy.
Fantasy.
Yes, tomorrow is fantasy, and you get to meet Jacob's new character.
I mean,
you mean? Oh yeah, I love
good
that.
Friend, just 6 out of 8 of his characters are.
Did we figure that out? Was 6 out of 8? No, because Star Trek he did fine.
Yeah,
and there was another game.
I think his second character on Dead Rain was fine.
No, his second character on Dead Rain was basically the same character he was playing in Palladium Fantasy, except modern day.
Yeah, but the thing is, he hadn't done anything against us yet.
You know, the key word was "yet" right there.
Yet.
Yeah.
All right. It's about 15 minutes in. Yeah, 15 minutes in, so we can get things started. Yeah, X Universe.
We should think about getting Matt and Nick with the tabletop simulator, and we could start throwing cards.
Tabletop stimulator.
Stimulator. Start playing games while we're talking.
Matt has tabletop simulator.
Yeah, so. I do.
Yeah.
Then why aren't we playing any good game? Oh, of course, we all got to synchronize. And what do we want to play?
Yeah, exactly, Jeff. And I think that'd be a little bit distracting to do the play a game and talk at the same time. So
Well, that's why you only play a game just to chill out. You talk while you're just throwing cards. So you're not actually playing the game.
we
You're
just
not
throw
trying to
cards.
win.
You just throw cards.
We
It just
just
doesn't matter.
Well, how about we just flip tables then? We'll just load up a big game, flip it, then go to the next game, flip it. We're just flipping tables.
We've been doing that. We used to do that.
I have to do that with Jeff. I just start flipping the table on him.
Yeah.
Oh, we tried it one time with Steven. He just kept on flipping the table because he thought it was funny.
Anyway, so let's get into some things for tonight. We've been chatting along for 15 minutes waiting for people to show up. Everybody has shown up who wants to show up. Everyone else can watch it in the replay. Tonight, we're going to be talking about a Kickstarter from, I got an email from John Keefe, who Matt may recognize was on Roll for Initiative back in the day with his partner, Laurel Nicholson, who wrote the Undead supplement for Mayfair's Roll Aids games for AD&D, but not so much AD&D. Anyway, they have a Kickstarter out, and they wanted me to just mention it, so I said not a problem since they've always been good people to us. Severed Fate is an OSR RPG adventure by the two of them. They came back and wrote something new, and they're trying to get their goal of $2,000 for this. They got $1,100, close to getting close to their $1,200.
Yep.
19 bucks. They still have about a half a month to go here, and so this is your old school basic module. It's compatible with AD&D 1E, and you can use it for Osric. But as you know, with AD&D, Osric, and any of the old school games like that, you could just intertwine it. There's nothing stopping you. It's just easy enough. I mean, you could take anything from basic D&D up to AD&D 2E, and they're interchangeable for the most part. It's not that difficult. And even some savvy players can change it into 3.0, 3.5, and maybe 4E if if your brain is into that stuff. But I'm not. This is a first level adventure. The adventuring party is searching for the northern portion of the Isle of Argilla for ancient ruins and happened upon the ambush of Tarselli. I don't know. I can't pronounce these words. A recluse wizard that resides in the Skyhawk Tower outside the skirts of something there.
Beosamu Forest.
Yes, thank you. So you're basically, here's the cover of the module. They were on Grog Talk, and they talk about the module being 8 basically a standard size booklet, 72 pages in length, perfect bound. It's got some black and white interior with a full cover for it as well. It's a great one shot, they're saying. I would think it's a little bit more. With 72 pages in length, it's got to be more than a one shot.
Yeah. Depends on, unless you're gaming for like 8-10 hours at a time.
Yeah, maybe they're assuming that, but most people don't. They only game for like 2 to 3 hours, maybe 4,
right?
Depending. I mean, some people go longer. I can't say. I don't speak for everybody. The book includes an artistic full-color cover, 15 original black and white illustrations by David Rowe and Jane Keefe, and 6 professionally drawn maps of the Isle of Argilla and the forest and the adventure locations below. They have some stretch goals on here as well. Here's the interview that was on Grog Talk podcast. Here's some of the drawings on there.
Go back up a little bit.
What?
That's the world's worst bong I've ever seen.
World's worst what?
Bong.
Oh, bong. No, it's not a bong. So
no,
unfortunately, it's not.
No, it's a severed head.
It's a severed head. Yeah.
Are they? And they're being attacked by squirrels.
Yeah,
yes.
And here's what the inside of the module kind of looks like. It's basically a black white interior. It's nicely done. It's very old schoolish. They have their stretch goals and everything. So if you want to donate, you can donate without a reward, or you can donate to get your name in the back of the book, which a lot of people were doing these days with Kickstarters. You pledge some money, you get your name in a certain area. This is a certain area with a 10-point font. Donate a little bit more, you get to the 12-point font. Donate a little bit more, and you get a 14-point font. And then you get your PDF for $25 or more, along with your name as a backer in the book for 14 points font. And then at $50 or more, you get everything, including the copy of it. of the adventure module, the PDF, and 14 point. And then for $100 or more, you get the bundled Fate, which gives you the Ineffable Fate, and will also receive 4 back issues of Flipping and Turning magazine of your choice. I don't even know what that is. Matt, you heard of that?
No. So
maybe it's a magazine they started.
That are still in print. So I don't know what that. Like, John didn't really tell me much about it. He just asked if I can do it, and I said not a problem because we love them. So
What's the updates for it?
what do you mean? Oh, I don't know if you could see them. Let's see. We're halfway. Oh, halfway. He's talking about a little bit under the weather. Thanks for first grade. Kiss you. Launched. It really doesn't. It's just basic updates. So
okay.
Yeah, Flipping and Turning magazines basically just kind of going for that old school like zine
do you have it?
magazine.
Share your screen.
Yeah, this is one I found that's available up on Twitch.io. Once I master technology and share my screen, you will be able to see this. Share screen, Flipping and Turning, share. So Flipping and Turning, this is issue number 3, The Annals of the Grog Empires, the official gaming magazine of the Grog Talk podcast.
So look at that cover.
Yeah. So, and then this one, it's their monk issue. So they talk about the Grog Talk Adventures episode 1, tropes of Dr. Xavier. So if you listen to the Grog Talk podcast, I think this is probably a really good companion piece, and just we'll go into some more about the podcast and also just gaming. So yeah. And like this one also talks about the passing of Len Lakofka. So yeah. And that's just issue 3. And this is at smolderingdung.itch.io. And let's see what else they got. So yeah, if you go to smolderingdung.itch.io, it looks like they're up to volume 11 of Flipping and Turning. And then they also have some adventures that you can get. So Windjammer rules for ship combat compatible with AD&D. So all kinds of stuff there. And this,
yeah, tell me about it. What a name.
Yeah. Smoldering Dung.
Yeah, okay, so that explains the the logo on there, which I was like, what the hell is this? So basically Grog Talk is basically pushing this out for them. Okay, cool. I understand now. So yeah, I don't stretch goals. Basically, if they get to 2,300, they'll unlock the virtual tabletop version, roll the maps to be delivered with other digital rewards. And you can go to this website here. I'll put the Kickstarter link in the chat so people can take a look and go listen to the interview if you want to listen to Grog Talk, if you really want to be put through that. And
if you want to be put
and you want to listen to that show, by all means, please do. I would definitely suggest, if you want a nice OSR module written by people who have written the Undead Roll Aid supplement, which is one of the most popular undead supplements for AD&D of its time from '86. Yeah. You could buy it here for $50, but I'm sure you could probably find it better value somewhere else than Amazon here.
Yeah.
And I mean, I have all these things I bought years ago off of, basically, we got them at Gen Con when they had that one deal that year. I remember I picked a whole bunch up there at 2010 Gen Con. But yeah, that's one of the things that they have there. So, there's that. Kickstarter, support them a lot.
And how much are they asking for?
2,000.
2,000.
I know they're asking for to pledge 2,000, but how much are they? If you just won the book, how much are they asking for?
I guess you weren't paying attention, Jeff.
No.
I was a little bit. It's just up to just $1. I mean, what's the minimum?
Minimum is $1. The minimum to get the actual PDF is $25.
Okay.
For all this.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. So for a $70,
$1.25 if you want the book.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Jeff needs to drink some more coffee.
Yeah. Math hard
for Jeff. Anyway, so support them. Go ahead and go to the link I've dropped inside this, the relay chat here and check them out. At least throw them a buck or two. You can just put like $1 in here and just be like, yo, cool. Or do this. Yo, cool. Anyway, tell them we sent the roll for initiative. They don't even acknowledge us. I'm disappointed now. I'm just teasing.
Yeah. Yes.
When you throw your donation in, say RFI forever.
Yeah, there we go.
That'll be your name.
Yeah. Get that in the book.
Anyway, meat of the show tonight. Let's head over on to it's such a stupid topic. So Wizards of the Coast is going to axe inherently racist half-elves and half-orcs from their books going forward. Now, before we move forward here, they're not exactly removing them. They're just removing the fact that they're called half-elves and half-orcs.
And they're doing away with some of the more backstory on like the origins of half-orcs that just doesn't meet with today's cultural sensitivities.
Right. With its woke standards. Got it.
Yes.
So you could still play half-elves, but you can't call yourself a half-elf anymore. Because apparently the term half anything, even in real life, is now considered racist, which I don't understand. So if I was half white and half black, I can't say that I'm half black, even though like my father, which is not, would be black, and my mother, or whichever vice versa, would be, but I cannot say that because it's not allowed anymore. It's offensive to say you're half.
Yeah, because certain people, because apparently it's been used as an insult to some. I mean, there was that one Scott Steiner promo when he on Samoa Joe, where he just went on about that.
No, let's not talk about that.
When he just starts throwing up the Scott Steiner promo. You see, being sacrificed. I got a 30.
No.
No Steiner math?
No,
it might help Jeff learn numbers.
No, that'll confuse him even more because it's worse than Common Core math. We give Jeff a 33 and a third % chance of actually learning anything.
Yeah.
Hey. Let's stop throwing down numbers here. I don't understand what's going on.
But, yeah.
But I wonder if anybody has the Rick Steiner version of being racist or bigoted.
Oh, surprisingly, if it did, it would be popped up.
Yeah, it didn't happen. It didn't happen. But anyway.
Something to the effect did just because, but
no, I don't believe the person. They've been known to be bullshit or so. Anyway, back to the story.
Yeah.
We're not here to talk about wrestling because Matt never wants to talk about wrestling. Even though
I just don't want to talk about people I may end up hanging out with in social settings.
Just to clarify things, we're not saying that we're calling it racist or bad. It's other people.
Yeah. Right. Oh, I'm not saying because I'm not stupid. This is just utterly stupid stuff here. Yeah. So Wizards of the Coast won't include half-elf, blah, blah, blah. The company revealed in its contest creator meeting, which happened a little while ago. Wizards of the Coast plans to remove half-elf. Again, they repeat the same title. Stupid. From the judge's regular rules said, according to reports from the D&D Creator Summit, the half contract is inherently racist. So we aren't going to include it in the new player's handbook, says game designer Jeremy Crawford, according to the account of attendee Daniel Kwan, the person I want to punch in the face. This is the guy that decided that Oriental Adventures was inherently racist as well, even though nobody really thought it was racist. And when we played AD&D back in the day, nobody thought it was racist. Yep. My DM, who used it religiously, was Vietnamese, and he didn't have a problem with it.
Yeah. There's certain people that just have a worldview of oppression, oppressed and oppressors, and every interaction is viewed under that lens. So every transaction has to have an oppressed and an oppressor.
This is the comment of the night right here. People are idiots. Thank you.
Nailed it
right there. So what he continues on to add and say that these options wouldn't be included in the new D&D books. However, one D&D will be 5e compatible. Players will still be able to use the 2014 version if they prefer and they want to be racist. Oh wait, I added that part. Sorry. So if you want to be racist, you can still use the old stuff. But if you don't, you want to be, enlightened and evolved, you will use the new 1D&D for all. Yeah. The fact that no explanation was provided for the opinion that half elves and half orcs are inherently racist has led some to varied interpretations of the statement and a chunk of controversy on social media, which
Why did they care about social media? When did this phenomenon become such a big thing?
When social media became a thing.
But the thing is, it's really the value of it is overinflated when you go into the real world and touch grass. It's like, but it's easy stuff to feed people's egos when they get the love and adoration of the interwebs.
But the subculture that lives and strives off of what's it called?
They seek
victimhood.
It's because
it works. Yeah.
Because there's a certain part of society that views weakness as power, and if I'm weak, it gives you. Everyone will feel, oh, so sorry. You get affection, you get love, you get caring because you're weak, and by being the victim, people will side with you. Well, it's also a lack of self-accountability and self-improvement. I have all these things wrong with me. Love me for who I am. I don't need to actually try to improve myself. There is a very big, almost like pushback against self-improvement because that means you're lesser and not as good, and we don't want you to feel bad.
Yeah, it's like there's a hierarchy, but no, it just reminds me of like a child throwing a temper tantrum. Like, you said something I don't agree with, so I'm going to whine and cry until somebody pays attention to me.
Yeah.
He loves getting affection on the interwebs.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like with the younger generation, they're more interested in fame. Than
I want to say that
wealth.
The younger generation is all over this, apparently, on Twitter. And what you would think as OSR people or old school gamers who would basically be like, what are you talking about? This is just dumb, are actually defending this whole statement of being it is racist or it's inherently racist somehow. But no one ever gives an actual reason why it's inherently racist. I've seen various people who hosted podcasts that I used to run, Save or Die, defending this bullshit and saying that, it's inherently racist. You should. I'm not going to say the person's name, but you could probably figure it out if you listened to Save or Die in the past. So,
I mean, I don't get me wrong. Wizards of the Coast, if they want to come out and say, we're no longer calling this half orc, half elf, that's fine. But then they go like not on a tirade about half race. This is like, just come out and say, we're introducing this new the same characters with just a different name.
So they basically, how it works is that in 1D&D it's fairly straightforward, as you're saying. You can mix and match visual characteristics as you like, then choose which race options provide your game trait size, speed, and special traits like dwarf, stone sense, and dragonborn breathwork. But you don't call yourself half. I guess you're just calling, from what I could see, you're just calling yourself the race. So if you're a dwarf mixed with a dragonborn, which I'm not sure even how that works, I guess you're picking either you're a dwarf with some characteristics of dragonborn, or you're a dragonborn with some characteristics of a dwarf.
But why can't I be just using that explanation, why can't I be a dwarf dragonborn that looks like an elf?
You can identify as one. I mean, everyone else in the world identifies as dumb shit, so why not?
It basically, they're making a product that's not for us. That's really what it comes down to. That is their evolution. This isn't the first time they've done some retconning. Remember when they did the revisions of cast the Ravenloft supplement for 5e, and they also Tomb of Annihilation. They walk some stuff back in the later printings of Ravenloft no longer have the Vistani, and then they also changed a lot of the some of the cultural influences in Tomb of Annihilation. And just with a little insider knowledge, I know when those books were first printed, someone said, you probably shouldn't do this. You're going to end up walking these back. And they did it anyway. So they didn't care about it when those books were first printed. It was only when it was politically expedient and convenient did they walk them back.
Oh, they got rid of the gypsy terminology and everything like that.
Right.
But,
yeah. And I know for a fact that was brought up when those books internally was first made. And they did it anyway. So they didn't care then. But then in 2020, when stuff was going down in that was their virtue signal, was to walk that stuff back.
Yeah, of course, because it was a big outrage on Twitter, and because Twitter is the whatever. Tired of Twitter, and
I think
I
think that what's going on here is just they're just changing up things to stay relevant. It's like just make a good game where everyone can enjoy it, and just make a good product. That's all we want.
Yeah, but when you have a bunch of C-level writers interested in hanging out with B-level celebrities,
no, what I think they're doing this to get away from the one problem.
I think it's just there was probably some people in the playtest the one that just were really hung up on it in their notes. And then they ended up just like, it'll just be easier to just, because there will be that vocal minority that has a issue with this. Let's just do away with it, because the majority of the common people won't care. Let's be honest. They'll just like, whatever. It's there. It's not whatever. They move on because they're not plugged into the net. Your standard players probably aren't reading like all the development and the dirt of how it's created. They don't care. So they could care less. But there's that that small group that will make a shitstorm if it's there. So you just appease them because it really doesn't hurt, other than you have the other end. It's like that pays attention. It's like, that's a little weird. WTF.
Yeah, and they listen way too much, especially to Daniel Kwan, who destroyed half the stuff that was actually really good because they listen to him. Mm-hmm. So that's why I stick with companies that don't give a shit, like Palladium, who doesn't really give a shit.
Yeah.
And play
Palladium's in their own little bubble, and no one penetrates that bubble.
Now, as long as Kevin is still running the company, he doesn't give a crap. Now, it looks like he's setting up to actually go off into the sunset, so to speak, but he's doing a kind of like a Vince McMahon, still staying in the background.
Yeah, I'm not doing the day-to-day operations, but I'm still here for the creative oversight.
Yeah. He handed over, I think it was the guy who ran riffs for Savage Worlds. I can't think of his name offhand, but he's now a partner of Palladium Games. And if he had anything that was involved with, most of the Palladium stuff, a lot of the Palladium stuff turned out to be very evolved, we'll say.
Yes.
So if he gets his full claws on Palladium, I have a feeling the Palladium will change as well. But as long as Kevin is still doing the Vince McMahon act, nothing will happen, and he'll just be a Triple H puppet, so to speak.
Yes.
And
I mean,
yeah,
everybody's going to print questionable stuff from time to time. It's inevitable. And if you try to plug up all the leaks, you're eventually you're going to have such a sanitized game.
But okay. So let me address this, because Rogue Scholar is a Palladium person who does awesome stuff for Palladium. He does a lot of really good videos. He does a lot of good stuff on his blog. If he wants to throw his link up to me, I will put it up here for him because he's awesome. So that, they have done some questionable stuff looking back with 2023 eyes compared to 1980s eyes. The thing is that we need to learn that things that we did in the past, we move on from and don't do it again. We try not to do again, at least.
Yeah.
and we don't sit there and burn them or destroy them so we
Right.
can't do it like they're trying to do with a lot of stuff in America. Let's get rid of it because it's offensive. But if you don't have it around to learn from it, you will make the same mistakes all over again.
Right. You need to learn to be able to be exposed to and process uncomfortable things.
Yeah.
And that seems to be an ability that's lost on a lot. It's very much, I can't let anything evil or bad be exposed to me because it makes me feel bad. But no, you need to understand and be able to handle those negative emotions. When viewing art or popular culture, you need to view them under the perspective of the times to actually understand where they're coming from. Because what could be offensive now back then was actually subversive and progressive. And if you lose that perspective of where society was, then you have this very disconnect on what you're viewing, and everything before you will be evil and must be condemned because it won't match to today's culture, just like everything today will be evil. And no matter how progressive and woke you are, you will not be woke enough for 50 years from now. And you will be condemned for not being woke enough. It's much like if you go back to the aftermath of the French Revolution, when the Reign of Terror didn't care if you were pro-king or the most progressive person in the world. They will burn you if you don't go with the mass. And that's what we need to not get involved in, to go that deep and assume if you don't expose the same values as me, you're evil.
Yeah, it's with me or against me, the NWO attitude.
Mhm.
I don't understand it. We used to be able to have conversations and sit around the table, and people would have their opinions, and they'd be like, "Rah," and it'd be fine. We in our group, Jeff, we have varied opinions with each other,
but we always listen.
Yeah, we also don't bring them up for the most part. If they do get brought up, everybody kind of skirts on it to respect one another. I've noticed.
Yeah.
Unless your name is Jacob, and then you just go all balls out and hate Trump. So,
and then nobody listens to you anyway.
Yeah, nobody listens to you anyway. But we pretty much all have a mutual respect for one another when it comes to talking about those things, and we just we talk about it and we move on. I mean, like normal adults do.
Right.
We know there's some things we're just never going to agree on, and there's a lot of things that we are agreeing on. So we just say on, like, let's say 90% of the stuff we agree on.
Sure.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's people used to focus on what made us similar and when conversing and to relate to each other, like what common interests.
Is he having a stroke? Does he think he's working at Taco Bell again?
It's Demolition Man.
Oh, Demolition Man. Okay.
Be well, citizen.
Yes.
I didn't know.
Be well, citizen.
Citizen. Wow.
Yeah. That's what we are. We are the citizens.
I think Demolition Man is very prolific too, and I also think Idiocracy.
Idiocracy, definitely
nailed it. Yeah, I didn't know it was a documentary from the future.
I like the fact that when she goes into the future, she gets that 100-pound nose, and she's like, "Damn, she's gotten fat."
Jeff.
Oh, that movie, my judge hit it on the head with that movie.
Yeah, definitely did.
It's the thing is, the movie came out in what, 95?
Yeah,
and that was during the.
It was really when political correctness went from the university to more mainstream. Is kind of when that started.
When the movie came out, it wasn't about political correctness. It was about the idiocracy of of gun-toting Americans versus your enlightened, and then over time, the course got reversed, and we got to see the rise of social media come up, and then people got into their safe spaces with their groups, and then that's when it changed. That's when it really changed in my mind from having intellectual conversations to just, I don't care what you think, I don't care what you have to say. If I don't like what you say, I'm going to go to my friends over there, and we're going to talk about you.
Yeah.
And how bad you are.
Yeah,
compared
because
to our
this
little
device here is only supposed to give you quick hits of dopamine when you look at it. That is it. You go here, I feel good. Oh, it made me feel bad, so it makes me feel really angry, and I must lash out.
Matt, need to see somebody, okay?
No. Read the Zen TV. Look into the Zen TV project. It's basically goes into the television, advertising, and the brainwave, the mind state that you go into when you watch TV. You go into, I'm going off the top of my head here, so if I get like the terminology wrong, that's me. But like you get into more receptive state when you're watching television, and it's that dopamine hit. It's supposed to make you happy. That when you're in that mindset, you're more susceptible to advertising. Advertising works better. But when said TV makes you angry, it makes
Orange
you really
Man bad
angry because you get this bigger swing. You expected to be up here, but you got put here.
Yeah.
When really you were here. So instead of being like this little bit of a drop, it's this big of a drop because your expectations were here. Make me happy. It made me sad.
Well, you get one or two cases where it's either a dopamine rush, like you said, you watch something you like, and all of a sudden you're agreeable and life's a lot better. But then you get the reverse. There's something you hate. Then you get an adrenaline rush. You want to watch more. You want to see the bad thing happen to the bad people you don't like.
Right.
That's why shows like daytime talk shows got really popular. Because
even though they're scripted. They're
fake.
Yeah,
obviously, it's just.
I know the fucking booker. He's Madman Pondo. Booked the show for 6 months.
Smash that, like that smash button.
Yeah, don't forget to smash that like button, or in Jeff's case, like that smash button.
Smash button.
Yeah. Want to get as many likes as we can while you guys are here, so please do that. Always helps.
But yeah, I mean, that's why the rise of the TV talk show. I mean, when it first started, it wasn't scripted. It was basically a on the spot interview. You know, they book a guest, they come in and they talk about whatever they wanted to. But then they saw the ratings, and the ratings kind of sucked. So they're like, okay, well, how can we bring the ratings up? Let's put things that people would be angry about.
Yeah.
So they put, bad kids, hate their parents, or, my wife cheated on me, or is this baby yours? And then the ratings spiked up.
Yeah. Yeah, because there are 3. Well, first, I did not watch Next Generation, so I don't get the reference. I'm a bad Trekkie.
I watched I don't know who's
I watched more of the original than Next Gen. But the reason that stuff works is because when you put in a hierarchy the emotions and what drives humans, fear's number 1, anger's 2. Those are the 2 emotions that are the easiest way to get someone to act. How do you get someone to watch a show? Fear and anger. Why is every segment on the news going to kill you or killed someone? Fear, anger. Get a nice combo of those.
But yeah, that essentially was the rise of social media too.
I wanted to say that no, Jerry Springer wasn't the birth of trash TV. It was actually
Morton Downey.
Okay, all right, you beat me there. I was going to say Richard Bay is the one actually starting the whole thing.
Morton Downey Jr.
I would say
Jr.,
that was an evolution of the shock jock.
Yeah.
So you got the shock jocks that came out in the early 90s, late 80s.
Yes. Yeah.
And then people started saying, "Oh, if they get shocked, if they get something they don't want to see, guess what? Views, listeners, likes."
Yeah. Yeah. It was just disposable content meant to get your attention and invoke a quick emotional response. So you stick around to see the commercials, so you buy the dish soap. That was the point.
You hate this? Buy our dish soap. Dawn.
Well, it's all about making that association, whether it's
But every generation's had their little upset about
Yeah.
certain things. It's just always going to be a counterculture to the next generation. And
Yeah.
the generation we're having now, the culture they're having now, watching 10, 20 years, it's going to be a counterculture.
Yeah, it's just it constantly evolves and it changes. And right now, there seems to be a more push to do away with local differences, individual customs, and just having more of a global society and a global connection, and people more as a massive group, particularly around their fandoms, be it Disney, video games, gaming, whatever. That is now your identity instead of your city, your nation. Your identity is the products you buy.
Wesley, shut up.
Shut up, Wesley. Yeah. He saved everybody from a game brought on board from Lee.
Yeah, it was that little virtual game they had in their eye where they had to throw a disc inside a vortex. I remember that one. Oh, God, it was so stupid.
Well, they also did the same thing on the original series, too, when they went on the planet and everybody was obsessed with that one planet that you can do whatever you wanted on.
Oh, yeah.
And Spock even got entranced with that whole thing and started showing his emotions. So they kind of copied that from TOS. So.
Yeah, I mean, it's a standard theme.
Addiction.
So,
yeah.
A dopamine addiction to, like, if you could just be perpetually happy. It's like red pill, blue pill matrix. If you could always feel happy, does it matter if, like, reality sucks?
Yeah. Why live in your world when you can live in this world?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so Rogue Scholar also clarified as well. They're passing around the game that raised dopamine. Everyone got addicted to it because it became oblivious to what they were around them. Yeah, so it was kind of like the whole TOS episode. They just were obsessed because of the dopamine effects of the planet that was allowing them to live out any fantasy they wanted, and they didn't want to leave.
Right. I mean, I could understand for the original series, but I mean, the next generation had the holodeck. I mean, I know you had to. Apparently, you had to book it in advance, but
yeah, you did.
You know, you have an infinite amount of worlds inside that ship, and I mean, I guess the only thing is to play a video game while it's like playing your Game Boy while you're not at home playing your Nintendo system. It's like a small.
They are at Walmart. He's definitely right there.
Yeah, well. The Springers, a good portion of those were strippers from JC Ice's strip club that Madman Pondo booked for $200 in a trip to Chicago.
Yeah.
Because if you go through, like, Iron Sheik, I think was a guest on one, not being Iron Sheik. I know Pondo was on there.
Dr. Evil was on there.
Yeah, there was a bunch of like wrestlers, like indie wrestlers and stuff, if you know who you're looking for, were on Springer episodes.
Yeah, the holodeck was an addiction. There was that one Lieutenant Barkley, I believe it was, who was addicted to that. But he wasn't addicted to the holodeck as he was using the holodeck to get over his mental insecurities.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, holodeck, 1,000 channels on the TV and nothing to watch. Absolutely.
Yeah.
When you have the world at your fingertips and you just don't know what to watch.
Right. It's like the more games you get, the less you actually play games.
Yeah.
On the shelf. Yeah.
Yeah. As my shelf, my piles of video games. The more games I have, if you would have told 10-year-old me the number of games you will have when you are in your 40s and the lack of games you will play in your 40s, I would be baffled.
But next weekend, you'll be playing all the games.
Yes, all the games, as I rent a cabin with my group and we game.
Yes.
Just tabletop, all analog. It's glorious.
Gaming cabin in the woods.
Yep. This is our 10th one? The 10th year doing it?
Yeah, I remember when you first started it back when we were doing RFI.
Yeah.
You're like, yeah, we're going to make this tradition every year. Here we are 10 years later.
Yep. And I absolutely stole the idea from Sam Witwer when he mentioned on Order 66 that him and his group would rent a house for like a week and just RPG all week.
Is that
Since
podcast even still around?
I think it is.
I think they were on the air for the longest time. They're like the Tome almost. They were on forever.
Yeah, they're like one of the OGs that's still around, and the system they cover has even evolved. They evolved with it as
okay.
Because it was originally the WotC Star Wars. Then when it went to Fantasy Flight, they transitioned to that.
Ugh, that awful game, yeah, with the dice. You can throw tons of dice, have tons of successes, but yet never do anything with them because the way the system worked.
What do you mean you couldn't do anything with them?
Like there was like all these different colored dice because it was story narrative dice. And you could roll so many successes, but if you got the wrong type of success, you'd never actually do anything with the successes. So I don't know. They fell into that whole narrative thing. So I don't.
That should have been on the topic last show.
Yeah,
success dice, where successes may not be successes.
Are you still looking things up, Matt? You're like dopamine and trance there with your.
I'm just curious because it's like I used to listen, but I haven't listened to them forever. Yeah, they still have podcasts that are coming out. As for go to d20radio.com for the content. But yeah, it looks like the podcast. Let's see here. Order 66.
Well, I know
like
one of the original hosts is no longer with the show, so
yeah.
Dave, he's no longer doing the show. He left a long time ago.
Yeah. Because it was Dave and Chris.
I think it's just Chris and one of the other people that took over.
Yeah, because I know Chris's wife was also did a little bit on the side with him too.
Kristen, I think her name was, or Kirsten, one of the two.
Yeah. Twilight Goodness.
Oh yeah. Very nice girl. We went to ReaperCon. I met her a bunch of times, and she's very nice.
Yeah, I met them at Gen Con because there was a few years at Gen Con when they came out with some games. They actually had a booth, so I met them there.
I went to their seminar that they had back in 2011.
Yeah, I was there, and that's when we met again.
Yeah, I was gonna say we met in 2010 when Jason's like, "Hey, this guy's gonna be our producer." I told him he had to be, and he was like, "Yeah, okay."
Yeah, because I was just telling him about I did production for like wrestling and whatnot. I was like, all right, because you guys did the meetup in the Omni Hotel lobby.
Yeah, Jason, because odd places to pick things.
Yeah, it was called. He just wanted some coffee before going to the con, most likely. And then that's where we met the Dead Game Society people because they showed up too. And that was pretty much everyone that showed up there ended up like doing podcasts of some sort, even if they weren't then.
2011 is when they had their seminar for podcasting. You and I attended that, and they actually said, try to distribute your time evenly. Don't be a psychopath like Vincent over there and do too many podcasts. Yes. And then he pointed to me, so I was like, yes, thank you. But because at the time I was doing RFI, Save or Die, and there was another show I was doing. I don't remember what it was.
Then Thaco's, you didn't do Thaco's Hammer, but it was like under the Wild Games Productions umbrella. What was the other one?
Thaco's Hammer, yeah.
Because there was 3.
Save or Die, Roll for Initiative, and Thaco's Hammer.
Hammer, yeah. Yep. And then some other podcasts sprung up after that when you went into the 5e and Pocket Mimic and
various things popped up here and there. And now there's really nothing left. I mean, I think Thaco's Hammer is on its life support at this point. They put up a show every once in a while, and
they're not dead yet.
No, I mean, Brian,
they're on life support.
Yeah.
Brian pretty much said he does it when they have free time, and the people still enjoy it. So whatever,
Yeah, I mean that's perfectly fine too, because it can be hard to actually schedule, and when you have a group to get a podcast. Hence why I didn't do anything for years, because I was working insane hours and just like I don't have the energy to do this.
But now we do. Matt roped into this and another project that we can't talk about.
Yep.
But yeah, that's basically things. Wow, we have a cat fight going on.
Bless you.
Yeah.
That's one heck of a sneeze you got there.
I know.
So Jordy had the holodeck create a Sherlock story that data had not not read. Yeah, he had to challenge himself because Data already knew every single Sherlock Holmes story. So it was just he
Right.
basically made an AI version of Sherlock Holmes.
Yeah, and on a recent episode of Picard, which season 3 of Picard, they finally decided to get it right.
The
Uh,
member berries.
yeah,
All the
they
member berries.
they actually did season 3 so far of Picard really well, reuniting the Next Generation crew and actually doing an actual, which feels like the Next Generation if it was done today. They brought back the self-aware Moriarty in
Yeah.
Daystrom Station when they went in there, which I thought was a nice little um, homage to that episode of with Data and Riker when they first kind of met each other in the holodeck. That episode from
Oh, you
Next
mean
Gen.
when Riker met the Data in the
We
holodeck?
stop calling him Data. All right, Jeff can go in timeout now. There we go. He can laugh all he wants in timeout. But yeah, that was a nice throwback to that episode, especially with Riker and the whole when Data was singing the whole tune and everything like that. Oh, we got Jeffy's drinking right now. There he is. Got him. But yeah,
No,
it was
but-
a good throw. You've been watching season 3 of Picard, Jeff, or no?
Yeah, season 3. See, in my opinion, season 3 is what Picard should have been this entire time. Just here's the member berries. Here's a little story. Here's the member berries. You remember when 7 and 9 and Tuvok talked at one time? Yeah. Well, the reason I specifically brought that out is because it was kind of an emotional scene there. It was a really good scene. Yeah, he turned out to be, well, no spoilers.
Don't spoil it, Jeff.
But during the time that 7 and 9 and Tuvok were talking, the theme for Voyager played and just hit.
Did it replay in the background? I didn't even
Yeah,
notice it.
yeah.
I didn't even notice it, to be honest. Oh, I just was just like, like that.
Yay! Remember when the Voyager? Remember when what was that other one? The one for Deep Space Nine.
Did once for Deep Space.
No, they didn't have gone to Deep Space Nine, but they had the ship on there in the museum.
Oh yeah, okay,
Yeah. But yeah, the one thing I was kind of looking forward to was, and I think it might be leading up to meeting the captain from Deep Space Nine, Cisco. Yeah, they might be coming up to meeting Cisco, because last episode of Deep Space Nine, which is my favorite Star Trek out there, Cisco goes and lives with the wormhole aliens. So linear time has no meaning there. So I think everything that's happening now will lead up to that meeting.
Yeah, I thought they were leading up to meeting Janeway because they dropped her name like 1,000 times in every episodes.
She will never come back to Star Trek. I forgot the actress' name, but she hated what happened in Discovery. Not in Discovery. It was Voyager. She hated what happened to Voyager when they brought on Jerry Ryan as 7 and 9.
But she didn't like the eye candy brought in?
No, she didn't. She hated it.
I mean,
and that's why I don't think she'll ever come back to Star Trek. I mean, she came back for a few games as a voice for Janeway,
so she's not coming back because they brought in a better looking woman than her. I mean, like the Wall could have been better looking than her. So what? Why was she upset?
I think Janeway had her own little points. She was a very what do you call homestead beautiful.
Was young Jeff drinking beer at the time when he decided this? I mean, I don't know.
Young Jeff was too young to drink beer when Voyager came out.
That doesn't mean anything.
She's on Prodigy. Prodigy died a long time ago.
Is she on Prodigy as a voice?
Prodigy?
Is she? Yeah. Oh,
CompuServe?
I was going to say the same thing. Yeah, she's in a Prodigy, so she's a voice right now.
So yeah, she'll come back as a voice.
I don't. I can't see her being jealous. The woman was younger than her. I don't know what to say, but the woman was younger than her. What do you expect? You weren't old.
Mulgrew and Jerry Ryan made up. Oh, you did they? Okay. All right. Rogue Scholar got me.
Yeah.
There you go.
All right. See, but yeah, they did have a feud. I mean,
I didn't know there was a feud because she was better looking. So who cares?
it was a small cat fight. It was nothing, and that's why they, of course, they
Literally
probably
everybody turned in every week to that show to see 7 of 9. Just like everybody
skin suit.
just like everybody turned into Enterprise to see T'Pol later on. So I mean,
T'Pol, she was an okay character. I never really liked T'Pol.
you didn't like T'Pol?
Yeah. You're talking about was it
Enterprise?
Oh yeah, T'Pol. Okay, no, she was okay. I liked her character was off, but yeah, they basically did to her what they did to Jerry Ryan. Just put her in a skin suit and say, "Here's your eye candy."
Yeah, pretty much is what they did. They just kind of made her eye candy, but they did that when the show became very focused on violence and everything. So,
I mean, I liked Enterprise for its establishment story. I mean, they went through some pretty good storylines.
the resentment was because the story started to revolve around 7 and the Doctor, and other characters got pushed in the background. Well, I mean, you hired your eye candy. Of course, you're going to revolve stories around her compared to the old fuddy duddy who everyone could not stand. So,
you want a story about the prairies and the old English novels?
No,
I
could not stand. I could not stand Janeway when that show came out. It almost prevented me from watching it. The only thing that saved it was Jerry Ryan, in my opinion. But then they ruined Jerry Ryan. So
I thought Jerry. Well, you talking about when she
on Picard, they ruined the character.
Yeah, when she switched persuasions.
Yeah,
like
they did that.
She literally stripped down in front of that one dude. It's like, all right, let's do this.
They literally destroyed her in Picard as far as a male fantasy goes. So that's what Picard does. But anyway,
I think Jerry Ryan is great as an actress.
Oh, actress, absolutely. Yeah, she's fun.
She even played a good. I forget the name of the character. Why? All of a sudden, I just keep forgetting the name of the characters. Sonya Blade. She played a great Sonya Blade too.
Oh, that's true. True. Anyway, as we're approaching the over-hour mark here, we're going to be heading out for we can all do our things. Hopefully you've enjoyed the show tonight. Don't forget to like button, share the video. Jolene Bullock did not impress Captain Frost.
While she had Vulcan hair pieces.
Well, yeah, I mean, her Vulcan hair pieces was kind of weird, but I mean, when her hair got longer, they started sexing her up. I mean, she started.
I think. What was her character name again? It was
T'Pol.
T'Pol. I think T'Pol was a very interesting character, and the fact that she played her, and this is going to sound weird, played her straight, as in she played her as in there was no jokes with her.
No,
she was always on mission, always doing this. She was always.
She played the Vulcan perfectly.
She tried to mother the rest of the characters.
She played a Vulcan. She did her job. Yeah. I mean,
she did. So she did a good job.
Her job was to make sure to maintain and mother the human race. Is what she did.
But no one really likes Vulcans
because she thought the human race was out of control and they needed to be controlled. So that was her whole purpose on there until later on, and she lightened up a little bit. You know how it is.
I think that's the gimmick about Vulcans is they always have to play the stiff until they finally like, oh, humans, their emotions are okay. I can deal with that.
Yeah.
I don't know. Well, we're gonna head out. Hopefully you've enjoyed the show. More to come. We'll see you guys next week. Have a great day.